David Essel here with you again with another tip on human consciousness, which is everything about mental health, right? So when we look at consciousness from a human perspective, there's all kinds of levels. And one of the things I'm going to give you today, one of the greatest tips I'm going to give you are two books that I think could really help this world go to higher levels of human consciousness, because both of the books only are dedicated to the topic that I'm doing this series of videos on. So human consciousness, as I mentioned, there's levels down here: the world of addiction, righteousness, complete anger, consistent arguing, all of the lower emotional energies of the world are here. But this series of videos, we want people to be up here. I'm shooting to get up there just like everyone else, I hope, is as well. And so we have to have tools and we have to have guides. I've talked about a lot of different things on this series. If you want to watch the full series, go to YouTube. We're going to have it all up there. I have no idea how many videos we're going to do on human consciousness, but I know a ton, because it's all tied into mental health. Mental health is tied into everything in the world, not just what we're going through right now, but it's tied into everything. By the way, I'm David Essel. I guess it's probably a time to introduce myself. 43 years in the world of personal growth as a counselor, a master life coach, radio and TV host, #1 best-selling author and minister. And these topics that I'm sharing with you because I want to go to a higher level of consciousness as well. It's so easy to get trapped. If you spend a lot of time on the news or social media, for God's sake, it's really easy to get trapped in lower energies, lower levels of human consciousness. So let's talk about two books today that I think are killer, that can really make a huge difference in your life if you commit to both of them. #1, Power versus Force, Dr. David Hawkins, one of my favorite books, but I got to tell you, the first third of it is kind of dry. Okay, it's very, very dry, very technical, very dry. The second 2/3, one of my favorite books I've ever read in my life. Now, it's not for everyone. If you start reading it and you get bored and put it down, just understand that come back in 6 months, because that's what happened to me with this book. I love the book, but it was given to me as a gift in the early 90s, and I wasn't ready. I read about 2 or 3 chapters. I said, this isn't for me at all. I put it away. 7 years later, I get another copy as a birthday present. I said, okay, well, what's God trying to tell me here? I read the whole book. I went through the first part that I didn't care for. I read it anyway, and then I hit gold. Because what David Hawkins did, and many other people have done it in different ways, so don't think this is the only book on human consciousness, but he broke it into levels. So we start out at 0 and we go to 1,000. At 1,000, we have Jesus Christ. I don't know if there's anyone else that ever reached that level. And then there's all of these organizations, individuals that he talks about as we rise through different levels. We start out at the lower energies of apathy and rage, and then we go up and move up into the concept of acceptance, and then we move up into the concept of love. And anyway, that's the evolution of human consciousness, and it's a beautiful book. If you want to raise your game and go to the next level, please get the book Power versus Force by David Hawkins. The second book that I think is incredibly important as well is by Ernest Holmes, founder of one of the strongest or biggest non-traditional religions in the world. Now it's called the Center for Spiritual Healing. Ernest Holmes wrote a book called The Science of Mind, an incredible book on human consciousness and mental health, talking to us about how we can raise our level of human consciousness by repetitive thought practices followed by repetitive action, right? We've got to combine both. So look at those two opportunities to raise your level of consciousness. Take your time when you read these books. They're pretty intense. They really are. Underline, highlight. Maybe find someone to read it with you where you can discuss it. That will bring your level of consciousness up as well. If I can help you at all, if you want to work with me one-on-one for 43 years all over the world, I don't think there's a country we haven't worked in. We work via Skype or Zoom or phone, whatever works for you. If you'd like to delve into this concept of consciousness and how you can raise your own level, we also have a free program called Helping Americans Heal. Just go to TalkDavid or DavidEssel.com to work with me one-on-one or to join Helping Americans Heal. It's absolutely free. Every Monday we give out tips and organizing thoughts on how you can raise your mental health, how you can raise your human consciousness. And then the last thing is, if you're one of those people that says, hey, listen, I feel great about myself, I want to make a bigger difference in this world, you can join our new certification, the Mental Health and Master Life Coach certification. It's only $150 a month. You will learn so much more about yourself and how to help others. Okay, so everything's at talkdavid.com. Have a beautiful day. Feel free to share these videos. We want as many people raising up their game as possible. And once we get a lot of people on this band train, oh my God, look out, the world will actually start to change. I know you might think I'm a little too optimistic here, but I'm serious. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm David Essel.